The book of Revelations mentions the release of Gog and Magog, that Gog and Magog are going to gather for the battle. So this is in the book of Revelations, and this predates Islam. So there's references to Gog and Magog that they're going to gather for the great battle as well. So the Old Testament mentions Gog and Magog, the New Testament mentions Gog and Magog, and the Midrash mentions Gog and Magog. What is the Midrash? The Midrash is like the tafsir literature for the Jews. The Midrash is the commentary on the Torah, and it consists of legends and fables that go back many, many centuries before Islam. You have the Babylonian Midrash, you have other Midrashic texts. So the Midrash is pre-Islamic Jewish exegesis. It is tafsir literature that is ancient. It's not the Torah. It is the commentary of the Torah that the ancient sages, the rabbis, the ulama of the past, they commented on. And in the Midrash, you find some very, very interesting literature, which is not the time to go into, but there are parallels with the Quran and Sunnah, which you can, anyway, let's not go down there. So where are we? So, Midrash. The Midrash mentions Gog and Magog. What does the Midrash say? The Midrash says that there will be a forerunner to the Messiah. We talked about the concept of Messiah in Judaism, remember? You guys remember, right? And Moses Maimonides put belief in the Messiah as a part of his 13 points of Aqeedah. Is it the 11th or the 12th point? We're going to believe in the Messiah. A day will come when the Messiah will come. It is a part of Jewish literature. What I didn't tell you in that class 2 weeks ago, because it's not related, but now I should have mentioned it in hindsight, they actually, or some segments of Judaism, believe in two types of Messiah, the minor Messiah and the major Messiah. Now that we're talking about Gog and Magog, I have to bring this up. So they say that there will be a forerunner to the real Messiah. And this forerunner will defeat Israel's enemies. When they say Israel, they don't mean the country, they mean Bani Israel. Remember this, right? When the Midrash says Israel, they mean mu'mins, Muslims, i.e. Jews from their perspective. You understand? They don't mean the country. So they say that this Jewish messianic precursor, the minor Messiah, will defeat Israel's enemies, Gog and Magog, and then the real Messiah will come, and then judgment will take place, and then the righteous will be rewarded, meaning with Jannah, if that's their reward. Now, this is interesting because this is Midrashic literature, and it mentions two figures. And it mentions Gog and Magog, and it mentions Judgment Day, all in the same paragraph. Allahu A'lam, we have the Mahdi, we have the Messiah, we have Gog and Magog, we have Yawm al-Qiyamah, all in the same paragraph as well. We find those things. Now, I did mention briefly there are two ways to interpret these things. If you're a secular, agnostic, atheist, if you're a person who believes in history and not God, then you will say, look, Muslims, Jews, they are taking from one another, right? And that's the standard interpretation of modern day academics. The Great Flood is a myth that transcends all civilizations according to modern historians. As I had mentioned, I think earlier, the Great Flood is a myth. I'm saying as a secular historian, it is a myth that transcends all civilizations. Every civilization believes in a Great Flood. You can analyze this and say, okay, this means it's a common folklore literature. The Old Testament has it, the Quran has it, native Indians has it, the Aborigines have it. So there is a myth of a Great Flood. Or you can flip it around 180 degrees and you can say the reason why all of these civilizations have the myth of the Great Flood is because it's not a myth, it's a fact. You can flip it around, and that's what we would do. So the fact that the Midrash mentions the pre-Messiah, Gog and Magog, the Messiah, Qiyamah, and Islam mentions it, could be the source is the same. Maybe that's why there's so much parallel between the two. So Gog and Magog is mentioned, we said, in the Quran and Sunnah. It is mentioned in the Old and New Testament. It is mentioned in Midrashic literature. How have our historians understood Gog and Magog, Ya'juj and Ma'juj? Ibn Kathir mentions, let's try to finish this up today because I don't want to go too late. Ibn Kathir mentions that Ya'juj and Ma'juj are from the children of Adam.